pick them up and
full raise them over your head.
Like full raise over the head and just huck them, like two-hand huck them over the rails.
Yeah. Greetings, mortals, and welcome to another episode of the Tabletop Sandbox podcast. This is chapter or episode 6 of Canticle of the Crimson Wake, our Blades in the Dark actual play podcast. But this is where I and my group of friends sit around and try to tell. Why'd you quote friends? Do you not really count me as your friend?
Some left ambiguous.
It's left thanks.
Off for the listeners to decide.
Yeah,
they couldn't.
And me, I guess. I'm just gonna be insecure the entire podcast now. You're like, yeah, okay, friends. But this is a podcast where we sit around and play Blades in the Dark and try to tell cool stories. You guys have infiltrated the manor of Lord Horace Berkeley, and in the middle of one of his masquerade parties, you talked your way in, narrowly avoided some suspicion, wearing an owl, a fox, a bear, and a moon mask as our disguises. We used our connection with Chef Roselle, specifically Yugoda, to get an introduction to Lord Berkeley. But unfortunately, that chance meeting, as he was in a back drawing room with a couple of other individuals with their faces hidden by masks and hoods, you tried to make an impression and made a slight one with that initial encounter. And then he implied that he had business to attend to, closed that door, and disappeared seemingly, because after you kind of covered your escape, you unlocked that door and found that it was a closed room with nobody in it. And after some searching, you found a secret door and driving off a potential suitor who was trying to hit on the lookout.
In quotations.
Yeah. Hippopotamus boy, hippo boy.
Hippo boy.
You opened up a secret passageway and descended into the cellar beneath Berkeley Manor. And that is where we find ourselves now. You're descending a staircase that is a gradual spiral, probably about 30 feet in diameter, though there is kind of a pillar in the center of it. So there's not like a hole in the middle of the spiral staircase that you could fall down. It's just two curving walls. And as you go down deeper, the noise of the party fades away until it is nothingness. And then you begin to hear the sounds of underground dwellings, a sound that's fairly familiar to you, as your lair is within underground canals, but it's a different place. It's a different kind of white noise of dripping and echoing and things like that. And actually, as you start to descend, there is a cold fog that begins to kind of drift up this spiral staircase. And you guys are going down deep enough that you are pretty sure you're approaching the water level. And as this cold washes over you, you begin to hear something. Faint at first, but then clearly distinguishable as chanting. Anastasiam quincletha morte delania tetadnos perduce team. Anastasiam quincletha morte delania tetadnos perduce team.
Was it?
Listen,
Are they chanting one of the names I saw earlier on the portrait? Anastasia?
There was a name on one of those portraits. It was a portrait of a couple, Mads and Anastasia Kinclaith.
Oh.
Okay.
And it seemed that it was, I think, it was not one of the oldest, but it was actually the largest of the paintings. But it starts off muffled and distant, and then as you approach, the goose flesh rises on your skin as the cold fog brushes over you and you hear this chanting. And you kind of come around the corner and see that The voices are not immediately at the end of this staircase, but you see that it kind of opens up into a wider room, dimly lit by these. You would guess it is the light of like an electric lamp. You are kind of all on the stairs. You have a lantern out, though as you approach this and the chanting gets louder, if you'd like to stow that, you may.
What's our goal here? Just figure out what they're doing.
These guys are kind of culty.
Yeah, they are kind of culty.
I mean, we only have one job here.
Yeah, we got one job here. Make this guy fly.
Yeah, we have to somehow get him alone, right? That was the original goal. I don't think he's gonna like that we followed them down here.
I have a feeling that they're trying to summon dead spirits of the people that used to live here. In his speech to you have his yeah. Do you remember?
I forgot about the speech.
Yeah.
Flipping pages.
Thank you.
Mind. What did he say? Find the history in our blood.
What if I pretend to just be like one of the ghosts? I have a disguise kit.
Oh, this is a good idea.
This is good.
I am full of
is the
so many
idea.
stupid ideas.
I will
You
say
look nothing like her.
But I could pretend.
We could dye our hair red.
And I have a disguise.
I will say this, like, they're in the middle of a ritual, and
I have like
this
30
chanting
seconds.
is getting louder.
They're gingers, right? They're people. We said Pavlov to be the ghost.
We also all talked to this guy
Oh,
earlier.
this is true.
Yeah,
So-
and you also are all corporeal.
Like, why don't you go look and see what they're
No,
doing?
guys-
I'm not very stealthy.
Want to
I'ma go-
you could do a group action prowl if you want for everybody to move
That sounds
stealthily.
stressful for someone.
For one person, yeah. Potentially somebody takes 4 stress, potentially they take 0 stress.
I need my stress because I need to do the thing.
I've got
I only have 2 unmarked
one.
stress.
I have
well,
4.
I have 5,
If I
but
take 2, then
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a trauma.
Yeah.
if I take all 4, then I won't be able to do.
So I say we play this conservatively.
Yeah.
Back away slowly.
Because what's the plan? If we interrupt them, they're going to come after us. And then we're going to run up into the party. And then how are we going to get out?
Well,
What
they
if
might
what they're
not-
doing is gonna like hurt the people in the party? Or I'm going to study the layout of the room.
So, just peeking around the wall of the spiral staircase, what you're able to see is the feet of, because you're still up the staircase away, you see there's an archway into this room, and you see that there's like pillars or, more archways within it. It seems like it opens up. Right now, all you can see is just the feet of 2 people, wearing cloaks facing away from you. Lit by this blue light.
Like
You
at the
see that-
stairs?
No, they're
Okay, they're
like
far away.
that's just the angle that you have. So they're a good ways into the chamber. You do see that there are kind of shadowed places behind these pillars inside the room that you could potentially sneak into and hide behind to get a better look.
Okay.
But that would require an action roll.
Yeah, that would be prowl, guys. And I'm not very prowly.
I have 1.
In prowl?
That's
I
more
have
than I've
1
got.
in prowl.
It's more than I have.
More than me.
Oh my
Best
god.
chances
Okay.
here. You got this.
I guess I'll sneak that. Well, I guess I would also be the most knowledgeable listening to their
Yeah.
About
The
the game
spooky
stuff,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Do it.
Holler if you need
YOLO.
us.
Do I push myself?
I'll push you.
You're making the wrong person fly. We need this to work, so after this, I'm not gonna do anything else, but
Okay.
I will push myself. That's a 5.
Okay.
5. Good.
Okay, I'm gonna say risky position, standard effect. You are able to sneak down and hide behind one of these pillars. Basically, there are kind of pillars around this room, and actually, as you go down into it, you see that it is kind of a hub of underground tunnels. You see that there are at least 4 different passageways that lead away from this room. Not including the stairs that you came down. And you see that there are these kind of archways that meet on the ground that form these pillars around this central area in this hub where you see 7 hooded figures standing around a circle carved into the stone floor. And you are able to kind of sneak up behind one of these pillars and you peer out and you're able to study the ritual. You see that there is on the stone floor a 7-pointed star in this circle, and each of them are standing at the points of the star. And at the very center of the circle, you see something that you're fairly familiar with, a spirit bottle, a device used for capturing and containing ghosts. So for any more detail, you would probably need to roll something like study.
Okay, I'll do it. Okay.
YOLO.
That's
This
one.
is going to be... Because you succeeded on that prowl roll, I'm going to say that you actually put yourself into a controlled position for this study with standard effect.
5.
5.
Nice.
Not bad. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to say that I haven't quite gotten to the consequence for the prowl roll yet, but I'm going to say that because you're in a controlled position, basically you're just going to lose that controlled position because you rolled a 5.
Okay.
But then I will describe kind of the consequences of that first, I think it was another 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so studying this, you catch a little bit more details looking around. You see at least a couple of the faces of people, and you see that they are not they don't look like hardened scoundrels or the other whispers that you've seen. These more look like nobles or aristocrats or wealthy merchants that have worn a hood and joined a secret society kind of deal. These aren't people who are necessarily physical threats, but as you study this ritual, you do kind of determine that this is a ritual meant to kind of summon a specific spirit that you would guess Anastasia Kinclaith. And you do see that they have medallions. Each of them has a matching medallion that has a 7-pointed star on it, and you see some kind of symbols that you would guess to be spectrology symbols, which spectrology is kind of the study of weirdness. I will say that one of the faces you do recognize is Lord Berkeley by the scar on his chin, and you see that he is wearing one of those same medallions with the 7-pointed stars on it. You also see that he is wearing another kind of pendant on a necklace that you identify as a demon bane charm, something that kind of works like a spirit bane charm, where it's not a foolproof defense, but it tends to keep demons away. As you are studying this, gathering all this information, the ritual comes to a crescendo, and they're basically shouting these words now. Anastasiam Kinclaith, amorte delaniat et ad nos perducat deam. And I'm going to roll to see how they do.
Ooh, please roll low.
Okay, idea, guys. Idea. Demon Bane charm keeps demons away. We're doing this for a demon. What if we take the charm off of him?
Approved.
I don't know. My thought.
Accepted.
The rest of you hear this ritual reach its crescendo, and then they all kind of stop, and everybody kind of feels this, but you especially, Spark, as you're attuned to this, there's this kind of like wobble of energy. You almost feel that there's this great, like you're on one end of a rope in a tug of war contest. Go ahead and roll a fortune roll with your attune. So whatever you have in attune, go ahead and roll.
All right. Woo. That's a 6.
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, you kind of feel that tugging of spirit energies, and they're kind of reaching directly into the ghost field, trying to pull a spirit toward them, and you feel that they kind of latch, and they're all like swaying around this circle, and you feel yourself moving with them as the energies are just buffeting you, and you feel this tug, and they pull, and they gain a significant amount of ground, but their target still remains just out of reach. They have not successfully drawn this spirit to them so that they can capture it in the spirit bottle, but they have made progress. And as the ritual finishes, they all are kind of standing there panting, and you hear Lord Berkeley say, "I can feel she is close. One more, at most." And they're just, for a moment, just kind of gathering themselves. What do you do?
Spark would try to sneak out at this point because now there's nothing keeping them like focused, and they're a little tired from their thing, so they might not notice someone sneaking out of the room. Do I need to roll another prowl?
Yes, because you are no longer in a controlled position. So the consequence for that initial prowl roll is that it took you long enough that the ritual finished. Now you're back to a risky position for that second 5. So it's going to be a risky position with standard effect to roll prowl. And are you pushing yourself or just standard?
Nope, just standard. That's a 1, boys.
Okay.
Yay.
So as
here we go.
turn to leave, you don't realize that you were gripping kind of the stone, and you've kind of almost taken a pebble out of it that you were kind of working back and forth with your thumb as you were studying. And as you move away, this pebble kind of falls out of the stone of the wall and clatters to the ground and will alert them to the presence of someone, unless you choose to resist it.
Full send, we can take him.
If I choose to resist,
You will take somewhere between 0 and 5 stress.
that's not good, guys. That's not good. That's a 50% chance I might get a trauma. So, I guess I'm alerting them.
Go for it.
I guess I'm alerting them. She kind of.
Well, that's a prowess resistance, would it be?
It would be a prowess resistance. So however many actions you have, so I think you got 3 in prowess, right? That's the middle one. So you would be rolling 3 dice.
I'd be rolling 3 dice.
Yeah, because it's a resistance roll takes however many actions within that attribute you have pips in.
Okay.
That's how many dice you roll, and you take the highest one.
Maybe
and reduce yours.
maybe it will take a chance then.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So you're going to try and resist it, potentially taking a trauma. Triple 1s, mutant snake eyes.
Can you be quiet right now? It was a 3.
What
It was
is the
3.
3?
3 is the highest.
Ooh.
That's a trauma.
That means you
that
take
is.
3 stress. Do you take a trauma?
Yeah, that fills up my stress bar.
Wait.
Okay.
It fills it up or it pushes it over? Is there a difference?
Once it fills it up, it's full. Yeah.
Yeah.
That will be a trauma.
Oh no.
Let me just double check the rules.
Yikes!
Oh no, we're down Spark for the
That's
score.
bad.
That's really bad.
really bad.
Oh, guys.
You guys got this. I'm gonna
Are we
go.
gonna fail a score?
Oh, but this is also juicy.
When
Yeah.
a
It is
PC
juicy.
It's so good.
When a PC marks their last stress box, they suffer a level of trauma. When you take trauma, circle one of your trauma conditions. When you suffer a trauma, you're taken out of the action. You're left for dead or otherwise dropped out of the current conflict, only to come back later shaken and drained. When you return, you have 0 stress and your vice has been satisfied for the next downtime. You guys hear the ritual come to a crescendo. Lord Berkeley say something, and then you hear the noise of something dropping on stone, and you hear, "Who is that? Who's there?" And you hear kind of a scramble, a scramble of movement, and Spark lets out a rough grunt. What are the 3 of you doing?
We should run back upstairs and hope maybe they come up and then Lord Berkeley's there and we can ask for a house tour.
I'm bleeding out in the basement.
See ya.
You think maybe we find a spot to hide until most of the guests have left?
Yeah.
That's a good
just-
idea. Yeah.
So right now, are you leaving?
Yeah, we're
Exiting
running.
this
We're
this
going up
area.
the stairs.
We're going back up.
Okay. Yeah, I will say that because you didn't venture in far enough, you just kind of heard the scuffle. You're able to kind of quietly make your way back up these stairs. And you make your way back up to that kind of the secret room, close the door behind you. And now you just have that door in front of you leading back out into the ballroom. It's only been a few minutes.
I'm going to leave through the door, and then just go be a wallflower or something like that. Yeah, that's my plan.
Okay, just
Deal?
gonna try and like blend into the rest of the party. What are the rest of you doing?
We can maybe find his bedroom or somewhere where he would go afterwards where we can definitely catch him alone.
Yeah.
I feel like this is an after party kind
Let's
of
go find his room.
affair.
Let's find his room.
That's a good idea.
We're going to find his bedroom.
Okay. So the three of you try to make it back up to the main floor and then slip away to the upper floors to locate Lord Berkeley's bedroom. What action or who is doing what to try and not be seen or noticed or raise suspicion as you are making your way back into the party and then sneaking away to the upstairs? Who's doing what? Because there is still a risk of that.
What if we went to the library? Old houses like this, there's a layout somewhere, right? What if we were able to find that in the library somewhere? I'm assuming it would be in a library because that's what libraries have, is books and papers and shit. What if we found that and somehow we're able to figure out a way outside of the party to get up, you know, like somewhere where there wouldn't be people? If we found like the blueprints of this house, you know, or whatever documents that they have on this home specifically to get upstairs without anyone noticing.
So going
That's
to the
just an
library
idea.
to
We could do
search
anything, but-
for blueprints?
Yeah,
to find
documents
out.
on
Yeah,
the
I like
house.
because then we can find something else if we don't find the blueprints.
And then, you know, we're supposed to be in the library. The library is open. So at least
Yeah.
that we're not doing something sketchy. We're not having to lie our way through it. Like, then we're just, oh, yeah, we're perusing the books. Okay, I'm going to do that and try to find blueprints on the house and therefore a successful way up that would not take notice of other people.
Go for it.
yeah.
4.
I would say you're in a controlled position for standard effect. I will say that it takes you a little bit of searching through, but you end up finding like a section of the library with a bunch of rolled up pieces of paper, and you're like, oh, that looks like like bookmarks, blueprints. And you pull like a couple of those down and start spreading them out over the table. And the couple who is still making out in a chair in the back, basically what happens is you move from a controlled position to a risky position. Or actually, no, you're still in a controlled position, but I'm adding 1 tick to the suspicion clock. And so now we're at 5 out of 6. Ooh. So 1 more tick on the suspicion clock is going to jump then to the alert clock.
Okay.
But basically, you know, casual reading at a party is nothing to be interested in. You're like pulling blueprints off the shelves and spreading them out over tables and the floor and looking and poring over them. But you do find that if you were to kind of sneak into the back, one of the back corners of this ballroom, there are like servants' entrances, and you find a route where you could easily slip through that and find a way upstairs.
All right, guys.
Into the upper floors.
We go through a servant's store.
And I am going to ask for one more roll. So like once you've established this plan, now you have to pull it off, right? And this will determine, like, I'll say you're still in a controlled position because you're just at the party, and right now you're where you're supposed to be. But sneaking through the store without garnering suspicion, how are you doing that?
I'm going to go talk to Chef Roselle.
All right.
Okay.
And I'm going to use Consort to do so.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Come on, baby! Ooh. A 2 and a 3.
Oof. I'm going to say that Chef Roselle will usher you into that door. However, the clock Chef Roselle tapped is going to be filled the rest of the way up.
Okay.
Damn.
That's decent.
As the failure. So
Means you don't
basically,
have your-
now you no longer have a vice purveyor, so you will have to find a new one. So Chef Roselle is like,
You're making
you
all
already
salads
asked
now.
me to introduce. Now you want me to sneak you into the rest of the mansion? You know what? Fine, Yagoda. I'll do it. But after this, we're done. Don't ask me for any more favors.
You don't have to do that.
I'm fine with it. It was not even that good anyway. Just take me to the door, please.
All right. -1 reputation. And he kind of ushers you through that door. And
Crossed out of my...
yeah, now you're going to have to, and I'm imagining because he's specifically your vice purveyor, he was the guy who like got you good plants. You know, it wasn't just the normal stuff that he sells at his
Plant heist time.
at his, restaurant, it was like he took care of you specially, right? You got the good stuff, the special, exotic stuff. That's what he hooked you up with. But now you have to find somebody else. You find yourselves moving up to the upper floors. There's a couple different towers throughout the place, but you are in a big house. What did you roll on that study? A 4?
4.
Okay. I'm going to say that you didn't specifically locate the master bedroom.
Yeah.
But you have a few potential locations that where it could be. So you kind of know where to start. But how are you locating this master bedroom?
Like specific action or just what we're doing?
Yeah. What action are you using to find what you're looking for? Because this is a big house. There's a
Study
lot of
or
upper floors.
Survey. Which one would be more?
I can look around a little bit. I have a pip in survey, and I've never used it before.
In survey. We could all.
Oh, we could do a little group action.
No, we should probably not.
No, we
because
probably
that would be a lot of
Potential
stress.
of 3 stress. But
All right. You want to go survey the upper floors? You gotta.
Oh, sure.
You go, to.
Thanks.
all right. Are you all moving together? I'm okay with just taking your role.
Yeah,
So
we're
you're
all
kind of
moving. We're all
leading
staying
the-
together.
yeah. Go for it.
You're just.
6. Let's go.
There you go.
So, the 3 of you, what are your feelings right now on Spark, who you had to leave behind or otherwise get into like a melee and be discovered?
It's just like
We'll get her back.
yeah.
What's the kind of whispered conversation you have as you are moving through the dusty upper floor of
should
this
we
mansion?
be worried? I feel like she could just handle herself.
She's pretty smart, right? Like, she'll be okay, right?
Yeah, she'll be fine.
She'll be
If
fine.
any one of us in the group can handle themselves,
Yeah.
it's Spark.
She's got this. She's stronger than all 3 of us. She can
And we'll get her back.
Yeah.
get her back.
We'll make them fly extra hard.
Yeah. Don't know how now without her gusty wind.
He'll have to learn to fly without his wings.
That's okay. Well, he doesn't need wings in this case.
I feel like I should be feeling worse about leaving her, but I don't really.
I feel like I should, but I just don't care.
Pretend I'm just like not here. I'm not even in the room. Don't worry about it. I'm just bleeding out in the basement. It's okay.
Should we have went and got her?
No, that would have been
We gotta
suicide.
carry on
You're
with
right,
them. We
you're
gotta
right.
carry on. You know,
'Cause
we
then
gotta get
all
paid.
4 of us would have been gone, and then we don't. Then we couldn't have helped her anyway. Like there's nothing we could have done. So
That's fine. Let's just keep on going.
we got to continue. We have to finish
Don't
this for
think
her.
about it. You're thinking about it too much. Just. let's
Just
go.
ignore your feelings.
Just
Just
ignore
push
them.
them down.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I think that's the door.
Yeah, and you do actually, with a 6, locate the specific kind of tower of the manse, and you go up and you find that on this upper floor of a tower-like area, there is both the master bedroom and what appears to be a study. You are able to kind of look into this master bedroom. You see this poster bed, and there is, in fact, a balcony looking out over the rest of the mansion in the master bedroom. And you'd guess it's a study, just kind of peering through the keyhole. You see some bookshelves, but the study is locked.
Well, like off to like the left, there's a room that's locked, and it's probably the study. And then off to the right, there's the room.
There's the master
and there's
bedroom.
with the
bed.
balcony.
Yes.
On the balcony. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you go into the master bedroom, and then you're able to like go out of the door onto the balcony from the master bedroom.
Okay. So we found a place where he will probably be at some point in the night because he's got to go to bed at some point, right? Theoretically.
Unless the ghost.
Unless the ghost eats him or something.
But we can
Or
deal
he
with
might
that.
retire to his study before he goes to bed.
Either way, he'll be in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a balcony.
You guys have anything up your sleeves that'll shut him up, or
Yeah.
I mean,
in
we've got
fact,
drugs.
right?
Good old transponder.
between the two of us,
Transponder.
we have enough to take out like all 7 of them.
Yeah.
That's perfect. always have a little bit of something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can hide behind the door. He comes through in a little poof, and then he's asleep.
Okay. Yeah.
That could work. Yeah.
Could work. And then we throw
Should
him
wait
off
for
of
him
the
to walk
Play the
through
waiting
and
game.
you-
Play the waiting game. Yeah.
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 I mean, I feel like every time we've tried to do something like this has always worked in the past. So this time nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong.
It's foolproof.
It is. It's perfect.
So is that
Any
the
more
plan?
planning?
You're all gonna lie in wait in the bedroom?
We could try to get in the study.
In the meantime, yeah, why not?
Pick a lock, yeah.
We can go peruse around the study. I mean, I'm
Maybe
already
get some
bored.
I think it's worth it. We could get ourselves caught
That's
if we try
true.
to do that.
Maybe
I'm already bored sitting here and thinking about a plan.
You know what?
Let's
Stay
Why don't we
bored.
snoop,
Just
why don't
stay
we
bored.
snoop around his bedroom? Maybe he's got something good in here.
It's very true. Okay.
What is in the
Touch with
bedroom?
your eyes.
Just a bed.
Roll a fortune roll. You're using your survey stat.
5.
5. All right.
I have 1 in survey.
Up in this bedroom, you do actually see on the bookshelf, in contradiction to his library that's downstairs, it's almost entirely occult text.
Oh, there it is.
However, none of them are like, oh, this is a really unique, rare occult text. These are
Okay.
like basic studies of spectrology and studies of the strange forces that are very much part of life in Duskwall. However, you do find his personal journal in a bedside table. And flipping through that, you see that it is a lot of vague musings, but see him kind of referencing Mads. And you see that Mads is apparently somebody who is has taken a lot of authority over like projects or something that he's a part of. Like he's talking about, he arrived and kind of took over, and Lord Berkeley is kind of talking about how he's happy to, let somebody else continue to be the leader as long as they're working toward goals that benefit the path.
So almost like Mads is still alive.
Yeah. Like he recalls like interactions with Mads in recent dates. It's just a handful of entries over the past few months, and it's mostly personal. There's no like tangible information about what is actually going on, what these projects are. It's more of kind of interpersonal musings about his relationship with Mads. And then his last couple entries are actually, they're a shift. They're not talking about Mads anymore. It's talking about something he calls the vessel. And he is talking about how he knows that it is kind of nonsensical and it's impossible for it to bear fruit, but he can't help himself because he has become infatuated with the vessel. And he kind of is remarking and lamenting on how it's a lost cause and it's just not meant to be, and just kind of musing on how, it's strange how just by looking at someone you can become infatuated, and it's the first time that something like that has happened that he can remember since he was a boy. No names. He does refer to the vessel as her once, but that is kind of what he's talking about in the most recent entries.
Quite weird. Let's go kill this guy.
Okay, well, we gotta wait.
Yeah, and so is that the plan? You're gonna post up in the bedroom and wait for him to kind of call it a night?
Yeah,
Come to bed?
can we have Yokota stand behind the door like Abby was when I got here?
With trans powder in hand.
Yeah, with trans powder in hand. What are the rest of you kind of doing?
Kevlov, I guess we'll just stand on the other side of the door just in case the trans powder doesn't work and
Snap
he
in
needs a leg broken.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Blood
I will
crusher.
hide under the bed. No, I won't. Should
Kevlov lung crusher.
I will
Hide under the bed?
No, I will just kind of be off to the side as well, or
I mean, are you hiding, trying to be out of view?
out of view of the doorway. So he walks in.
Okay, so he would come all the way in. Yeah.
Take his
His
charm
Charm.
before,
Oh, yeah.
before
Yes,
we throw
that-
him.
very
It's like it'll happen instantaneously. I will blow the trans powder. You will not get in the trans powder, but at the same time you will somehow.
I'll hold my breath.
Yeah, you'll hold your
So
breath.
you can It
grab
depends
the
who you want
medallions.
to be like running this, basically.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go with that, and I will hide behind the door instead of Yugoda because I have this.
Yeah.
So let me mark off my band over
Cool.
here.
So Tony and Kavlov. And Kavlov, are you assisting in a way?
I will also. Well, I'll assist. I can take stress. I got stress to take.
You got stress.
I got
to
stress
take?
to
Okay.
take. I'll help.
Okay.
How many do you have left?
I've got 2 and then a trauma. So
Gotcha.
Well,
so
one more.
you could
and then,
assist, but it
Yeah,
would be
I've
your
got
last
one more
free
to
stress.
give. One more to give.
I don't think it's a good idea, guys. Okay.
Okay.
I will assist you, girlfriend.
Okay. And this is what finesse.
And how are you
See what's
assisting?
that.
Because Kavlov is muscling, but how would you be assisting Tony in this?
Be on the bed.
I was thinking about that.
As like a distraction?
A distraction, but it's so
that's cool.
stupid.
Hello.
But
I've been waiting for you.
yeah, I mean, I can just get his. Yeah, I'll distract him for a second.
Okay.
Do I have to roll an action roll to assist?
You do not, though I am going to have you roll a fortune roll using your sway to see, he's obviously going to be at least slightly distracted, but I'm curious if he's like
Very distracted.
very distracted,
Yeah.
or like not at all like interested. He's like, why are you in my room rather than what's this now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So go ahead and roll your sway just as actually how many what do you have in sway?
I have 2.
2? Okay. I'm going to roll so I know the result.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
because
don't.
it's not happening yet.
Because it's
I
a
love this.
fortune roll
Okay.
using your sway.
Read his facial expressions. I know everything.
He's a poker face.
I know everything.
You know everything?
I know everything.
He's gay.
Disguise kit.
He's this guy's kid as a man.
Come on, get on the bed right now.
Oh no. That disguise kid is going to get you in so much trouble one of these episodes.
That's the goal.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And Kavlov, where are you?
I'm on the other side of the door.
Okay. Are you assisting
doing-
as well? Or are you just as a backup?
As a backup. I'm
Sure.
basically, as soon as they're done with their thing, I'm going to grab them, take the pendant, and throw them off.
Cool.
My job is to be the muscle.
Muscle.
So
Yeah.
their plan is to knock them out and shut them up. But if all else fails, I can.
Sure.
Knock
Yeah.
his socks off.
What is Yagoda specifically doing?
Please describe.
Kind of weird.
Like,
to,
are you like getting
Yeah,
naked?
no. So, it's kind of weird to just do this in front of my sister and like this dude who's
We
like,
used to
I
take
kind of know
baths
him, but I
together.
like, we've just been working for a couple of weeks together. Like, it's a little weird.
Just drape
Sweetheart,
yourself suggestively.
I've seen weirder. You're fine.
I'm sure
Didn't you
have.
like kill
We're
like a
business
naked
partners.
woman? Like you
we
didn't
did.
kill her.
Oh, he did. I just.
You didn't kill her.
Well, we didn't.
I did not kill her.
We need to
But-
figure out what happened. Anyway, it's not gonna like matter how long he sees me because you're gonna knock him out right away. So I'll just like lay on the bed in a seductive pose, but I'm just not feeling the whole close.
You don't
off
have.
thing.
Yeah, keep
Yeah,
your clothes
no,
on.
that's very fair.
And especially if we need to run, I know like you're from a different part of town. Maybe this is more common for you where you
A
come from.
different part of town.
Wow.
You mean Scobland?
Scotland.
Wow.
But in Akarosia, we usually keep our clothes on
That's so
All the
rude
time.
to
all the
us.
time.
Always. Even
Especially
in bed.
like
Yeah, they get really creative. We get really creative here.
The red dress stays
The
on
red
during
dress
sex.
I'm for using my charm for the gain of the group. I'm not for using my body. I have a little bit more respect for
That's
myself
fair.
than that.
Fair. All right.
All right.
Yeah, seductive pose it is.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm glad we had this discussion about consent and
Roll for
like
seduction.
and body positivity. I am glad that you are more free with yourself, but unfortunately I am
I
not.
don't think that was implied, but okay.
You do understand in my land that we're pretty conservative.
it's also very cold
It's extremely cold. Like it's
all wearing
furs,
coats.
lots of furs.
all the time.
I just picture
It's
like
just open around here.
like this
just like-
savage being that you are
You are
like not
currently wearing
clothes.
less clothes than the average Scovlander woman.
Okay.
You're being really racist right now, guys.
Do you just make assumptions about my culture? All right.
Never mind. We can talk about this later.
Conversation for
Cut to
the pergola.
a couple hours later.
Shit.
Getting
stiff.
you guys are getting bored. You don't have to hold the pose. You're gonna hear him coming up the stairs. Just like just standing in this
Dropping like
horrible
one of
pose.
your
You're just like, well, I have to stay here. You end up just like your back is ruined and you're just doubled up on the
Level
bed
one
by the time he gets there. It's like, oh, but no. A couple hours later, in the kind of wee hours of the morning, you're kind of disconnected from the party, hiding out in an abandoned area of the house.
I love that we've just been chilling and not
I imagine there's some conversations that are going on, but
Spark is like kind of like the younger sister I never had. Wait. Tony, you didn't hear that? I have this like older sister energy kicking in. Should we go? Should we just abandon this plan? No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm not feeling this at all. Let's just continue.
Are you okay?
Just stay
I'm
there.
under a lot of
cool?
stress right
Are you
now.
cool?
Yes.
You're not under nearly as much stress as the rest of us.
I
If you look at it.
if you look at the statistics.
Just a tiny bit of trans powder. You'll be okay. Tiniest bit.
Got some pot. It's not really pot. Fantasy pot.
dream smoke.
Dream smoke.
Really isn't
You wanna
the
take a
best
hit?
time for that. I don't really partake in any of that.
It's plants.
I'll just. That's a fair
It
point.
is distilled from the Black Lotus.
Do you want to talk about your drug problem?
It's not a problem.
I think it's a drug problem. Sorry. We have all this time. We're just sitting here doing nothing.
I was the buffer.
I mean, usually
hope
you just go
Spark's
off and talk
doing
to
okay.
Spark at this point. But like, she's not here anymore to, whatever you guys talk about.
You do hear these footsteps coming up the stairs to this floor, and you see you see him kind of come to the other side of the door and stop, seeing the light and seeing you, and his eyes kind of widen. He's holding his mask, he's taken it off, his eyes widen, and he says, "What do we have here?" And just kind of steps into the door. What do you do? Go for it.
Yeah, that's what she does.
Are you rolling finesse or
Yes.
tinker?
And you get 3.
Oh, wait, can I do tinker?
I'm saying
more
this
finesse.
is probably finesse. Yeah.
Okay, I did just draw. I rolled.
Yeah.
I
Well,
rolled
you
a
roll
5.
3.
You
You roll
get-
3. Or no, 2.
I rolled. No, I have 0 in
Okay,
finesse.
then.
Because
yeah,
you're being
okay,
assisted.
But I'm being
yeah,
assisted,
you-
so I just rolled
Perfect,
1.
okay,
So
we're
far.
Cool. So you got a 5.
Let's go. That could have gone really bad.
Yeah, and Kavlov, you're there on the other side of the door.
To like catch him when he falls.
What you failed to notice is that when he saw the lights before he saw Yagoda, he was a bit nervous and has a dagger in hand.
Take more harm,
And
guys.
so he kind of walked in and was caught off guard. But as he is kind of attacked and you attempt to, basically shove this powder in his face, I imagine you have this bag or like cloth that was tied around it and that you open up and smack into his face.
Yeah.
He is going to react and slash out at you, and you're going to take a level 2 harm puncture.
Okay.
As he kind of stabs you in the leg with his dagger, but you do succeed in smashing this standstill powder into his face, and he kind of steps back and sputters, and then
close the
just
door?
kind of like, you see him just kind of like go limp as he's paralyzed.
All at the same time,
Yeah.
like I grab him and bring him down as I'm closing the door.
Nice.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
And then you just kind of stagger back, and you have a dagger embedded in your leg.
Ew, it doesn't look that bad. You're going to be okay.
Should I leave it in? Or should I take it out? I should take it out.
I don't know.
Just leave it in. Just leave it in.
Kavlov is just holding the paralyzed body. You still see Yagoda, his eyes are going as he's like paralyzed.
Shaking him to sleep like
Before you
little
toss him
baby.
out, before you toss him out.
Take his necklace.
No. Yeah, take his necklace and I'm going to put on lipstick and kiss him on the forehead.
Beautiful.
That was
He's
so
all
much
awake for
fun.
this. You're just like, before you toss him out, and you just go over and do that.
To his mirror and like take just like, not like a lot of the time, but like, take my time with him a little bit.
Apply it heavily.
Yeah.
So you get it good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like insultingly kiss him
Is that
on the
our
forehead.
symbol?
I mean, it is now.
The crimson wake
Yeah.
leaves kiss marks.
The crimson lips.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
And we take his necklace.
Yeah. Do you take his medallion and his demon bane charm?
Ooh, both?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take both.
Yeah.
That's all he
and
has on
then
him.
Yeah, that's pretty much all he has
Okay.
on him. The dagger, he's got his party clothes underneath, but he has this cloak over.
Let's take a moment. Are we in a hurry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll
Why?
last so long.
Can we ask him some questions?
You're not sure
can't
how
tell.
long the
He's-
paralysis
Okay, let's just throw
lasts.
him then.
Yeah. Yeah, take him to the balcony.
Shit, we're about to
I go
murder
out
him,
there.
man.
How are we gonna
Sorry,
get
babe.
Okay.
No.
I will say that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
This man just looking up at you, you just see that there is absolute terror in his eyes as in just like a lip print on his forehead as you bring him out to the balcony. And what do you say, Kavlov?
I kind of want to be the last thing that he sees as he goes. So I'll look over.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I got nothing to say to him.
I'll go. I read your diary. You seem kind of fucked up, and then toss him.
I'm taking his diary too,
Just
if I
his-
can.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of like pick him up and like a
Full
forget-
raise him
clean?
over your
yeah,
head.
like full raise over the head and just huck him, like 2-hand huck him over the rails.
Yeah, you watch as his
We just did
body
that.
just absolutely like boneless because he's paralyzed. He has no access to moving no flailing, no nothing, just a silent
Boneless.
ragdoll fall. And he actually lands on you're like
Don't take the diary.
4 stories up. He lands like in the courtyard on top of a fence. Like a gothic spike-topped fence. And he just, twists and then just lands on it as is impaled and
Shish
is
kebabbed.
Oh, that's
broken
gorgeous.
and definitely mortally wounded. You might hear just a few faint gurgles. And
We did it.
Kavlov, why don't you roll just 1d6 as a fortune roll?
3.
3.
That's average.
You see that as you're watching this tumble, as he's about to impact, you see that there are people in the courtyard.
This is why we should have looked before tossing him. It's okay. It's okay.
What
it's
do you
fine.
do?
Oh, Kavlov just looks down at them and like one finger up to the lips.
What?
Command.
Okay. Oh my goodness. You just throw this man down. He just gets bent backwards over this gate and you see people jerk their heads up to you. Go ahead and roll command.
So what are the conditions on this roll right now? What effect and what?
So you are in a risky position for limited effect.
Okay. Then with it, Kavlov is like pulling out of his coat a big old club with a couple of spikes through it as his scary weapon.
Okay.
That he sort of like he like pulls out and brandishes over his shoulder as he's doing the
Does
the
scary weapon have a
motion.
description?
adds an effect for intimidation.
Okay, cool. And are you still wearing your mask?
Yeah, definitely.
The bear mask.
I'm just gonna roll straight for normal effect now with the
Yes. It would be
okay.
risky, normal effect with your normal amount of dice for command.
a 4.
Okay.
A 4. I think I'm going to add 1 heat as the consequence for you rolling a 4 and
That's
not a
fair.
6. So yeah, go ahead and add 1 heat, and you throw this guy off the roof. He just lands, and there are a couple people walking in the courtyard, and they just see this, and they look up, and they see this guy in just a white bear mask, just hold up a finger. And they look at you and then they kind of look past you a little bit and then they just like go and then they just leave. They get out of that courtyard really fast.
They look pat.
And then you kind of hear a noise behind you at the second location
Oh, it's our guy.
where they looked, and you do see the man with black skin and stars for eyes just kind of perched on the roof above you. On that balcony. And he says,
Well done. Would you mind getting rid of that thing?
and kind of looks at the Demon Bane charm. Who's holding that?
I think I am, yeah.
Yeah. And kind of gesture with his head to toss it over the side.
Oh yeah, I'll just drop it off the balcony.
And with that, he will kind of drop down off the roof, and he says,
Well done. I haven't seen a flight like that in a while.
he just kind of looks over and smiles at the mangled corpse.
Would you like me to show my appreciation in coin or knowledge?
I am, just to know, I want to take that journal.
Okay.
His personal journal.
Sure. Yeah, just make a note of that somewhere on your
Yeah,
character sheet or
yeah.
in your notebook.
If it's one load, I don't care, but like, or yeah.
I'm not going to say it's that.
Oh, yeah, okay,
I'm going to
yeah.
say you can take that as part of the loot.
Okay.
He kind of looks to you, Kavlov, and you can just tell. Oh, also, as he's speaking, you notice something strange, that he's not actually speaking Akarosi. He's speaking some language, but somehow you are able to understand the words. He's speaking like this universal tongue of sorcery that is able to be understood by all creatures, no matter what language they speak. But the words themselves, like you wouldn't be able to parrot the words he's using, but you understand what he's saying. And he looks to you, Kavlov, and you get the sense that as payment, he is offering knowledge about what it is that you seek.
Go ahead.
Where is Yelsina?
He kind of looks around. Is everybody okay with this being
That's
the payoff
fine, yep.
rather than coin?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of coin, saying that like you stole stuff as you're going through, but it's going to be greatly reduced
That's
from
fine.
the like payoff of
That's
this
okay.
scale of job. And you are given a vision of a specific building within Duskwall. And I'm not going to describe it right now because I don't have it set in stone, but you just get like a mental snapshot of a building, and we'll determine what that building is and if you recognize it in the next episode. But that is, you are given a location.
Is that
And you're able to recognize it's in Duskwall.
Does that tick anything on the long-term project, Find Yelsina?
Yeah.
The Find Wife Clock?
Find wife clock.
Locate wife.
I'm going to say no, but you're going to have like big boons when you roll that downtime project kind of deal. You get raised effect for the next roll you make towards the locate Yelsina clock.
Okay.
Then you see him just kind of look over you and say,
Lost the whisper, have we?
Do you know where she is?
Yes.
Is she safe?
I've been... Well, I have many names. You may call me Calum.
and he kind of just lightly steps up onto the top of the railing, balances there for a moment, and then falls off the edge, and then darts and flies into the sky and disappears.
Bastard.
And that is where we'll end the score. You guys are able to kind of sneak back in, make your way through the party. There are still a few people hanging around. The late night drunks, and there are people who are passed out. But you guys are able to just basically walk out of this party before you do it quickly, but before anybody really knows what has happened. You're able to get out of there. Spark, as you're standing there watching this ritual, you feel the energies kind of pulse and pull you forward and push you back like waves on a beach. And you feel this tug of war happen as they are pulling this spirit that they are seeking from the ghost field and trying to bring it close to them and trap it within this spirit bottle. And you've never felt anything like this. You are caught up in the first ever ritual that you've ever experienced, and there is power flowing here like you have never felt before. I mean, pulling lightning from the ghost field is one thing, it's a rush. But this, 7 people all working together to channel arcane forces, it catches you up in this feeling. And it's no wonder that as you realize, oh, I should probably get out of here, as you take those steps, you find yourself woozy and you knock that pebble free and it hits the ground. And these 7 figures turn and see you standing there, dazed almost by the energy of this ritual. And you see them all rush you. You can barely react. And you feel a stabbing pain as a dagger is driven into your gut. And you are cracked upside the head by another fist. And you have this vague memory of basically being beaten to a pulp, because having somebody witness this ritual is not something that this group is okay with. And you just have the fleeting memory when you wake up of pain and being beaten and just these medallions kind of swinging back and forth in front of you from the necks of these people as they brutalize you. You are dragged a short way through a dark tunnel and then dropped into a canal, left for dead. You find yourself floating, and you float for a time. And then you come out from the underground portion of that canal, and you find yourself looking up at the void, dark sky, dotted with stars. And 2 of those stars take an interest in you. And this demon appears before you, seemingly coalescing out of the sky. And you just have a faint memory of being lifted by your sopping tunic with this brackish water of the canal and left on the side. Not allowed to drift out into the void sea or to drown in the canal, but not helped much further than the edge either. And slowly, eventually, you're able to recover and make your way back to the lair. Whether that be a matter of hours or days, I'll leave up to you. As you kind of come to consciousness, the one thing that you can't get out of your head is that feeling of shifting energies, of power moving around you in that ritual, and the swinging pendulums of medallions float in front of your eyes. And that's what happens when you take a trauma.
I think she kind of sits there for a couple hours. Day might even break. She's not even paying attention to like the flow of time anymore, but she's just...
Yeah, you just see the shattered pieces of the sun glow dimly, signaling dawn before it fades back into darkness again.
And I think that brief moment of seeing the shards of the sun kind of snaps her out of it. And she kind of checks herself for wounds because she was probably beat. I don't even know how badly. She doesn't even know how badly. And she gets to her face and she feels herself smiling, and it freaks her out for a moment. And she tries to fix her face, but she can't stop smiling at the thought of something unknown. And she makes her way back to the base as well as she can. But she's lost on the streets for a little bit.
The dichotomy of the upside down crescent moon with the smile underneath it.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's cool.
That's some dope shit. And yeah, I kind of like the idea of you having whenever your trauma, whenever that obsession with rituals happens, you'll just get these images of the swinging pendulums of these 7-pointed stars. That's kind of it's a weirdly mixed trauma where it's oh, I really want to do rituals, and that my obsession with this is almost coping with that horrific experience. That concludes episode 6 of Canticle of the Crimson Wake. Thank you for listening, and good night, mortals.
Cue the music, baby.